Hi, it's Jnwynn with Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Today is Tuesday, September the 18th. I only have a couple of finished items. This is Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. And, coming to you from Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. I followed the tutorial with Bag O' Day's new hat, and she calls this the cobblestone stitch, which that's the stitch, but I think she's named this the poppy hat. Very nice. This one is slouchy. I had someone who asked me to make it less slouchy and in a different color of the woolies. As you know, I got a bunch of these in the wheat color for a quarter a piece, but of course she wanted hers done in one of the darker colors, which I didn't happen to pick up, so I had to go get some. I have not finished that hat. I'm still working on it, so hopefully that'll be done later on. The only other thing that I have finished is I did work on another of the summer crossings shawl, and this one was just using scraps of blue in my stash. Decided I needed to really work on using those stash items up. The only other thing that I did get finished is I've been making a couple of these project bags, and these are items that I do sell. And this one holds probably 3 to 4 jumbo size skeins of yarn. Got that one in there, and this. And it's got 4 of the homespun in it. And this one comes with places on either side that you can run your yarn through there. This side as well. And then it also comes with a small zippered bag for notions or to put your hooks in or anything like that. This bag is about 18.5 wide by 16 tall. And that is going up in my shop later on this week. About when I get the shop updated, I will be posting a video for that, because I have another thing that I want to talk to you about that day, which will be later on this week. Some sort of finished items. This is the Abstractly Chic shawl that Marley Bird is doing with Red Heart. I did not use the Chic Sheep yarn by Marley Bird because I've not seen it in person, and I've heard some wonderful reviews and I've heard some bad reviews about it. So I want to see it and feel it before I even purchase any of it. And of course, you know, I got all those skeins of yarn, 25 cents a piece. So I decided to use those up, and these were some of the colors I had, that brown, buff, and the cafe latte. So I decided I would use that up. I have been continuing to work on my Autumn Jules shawl, and I'm using the yarn that I got with Knit Crates last month, which was the single ply fingering weight. And that's what I have so far. Haven't even got down to the second part yet. And it seems like it's taking forever. I'm sure that's because it's fingering weight yarn and a small hook. But yeah, I work a little bit on it and move on, work a little bit. And of course, this is one of those little ball sacks that I make that you can use for socks or whatever. As you can see, this small shawl still fits in it because it's that little teeny tiny thread fingering weight. Can you tell I'm not really thrilled about that? Little fingering weight yarn? Yeah, it's pretty bad. I did want to talk to you guys about a little bit of a different kind of RAK, Random Act of Kindness, this month. And basically it is this. There is I've been doing the mats for the homeless out of the plastic bags, recycling. The church that is doing that is the Lamar Lighthouse campground. And every summer they have kids and families that camp out there, and they provide church services and everything. Well, they also put on a concert every Sunday evening that has different groups from all over the country that come and sing and do some ministry work and things like that. They have this one area that's called the Tabernacle, which is where they always held the concerts at. But this year, when the inspectors came out, they found that the wood was rotting in and that the building is bowing, so it was condemned. And it's a beautiful little tabernacle. And there was no way for them to some of the barn builders episodes that you've seen can actually lift off the roof and rebuild. They could not do that because there's so much damage. And they think it's because the tabernacle was actually built out of pine instead of oak, maple, or one of the other woods. So they're wanting to rebuild the area for the concerts. So they have asked for donations to help rebuild this. And one of the things they have put up is a GoFundMe page. So if you could donate to that to help them rebuild that tabernacle, that would be wonderful. If not, the other random act of kindness is I would hope that you would either donate money, time, goods that some of the hurricane victims in North Carolina, South Carolina, if you could donate some things to help them. I believe there's a page for the hurricane relief, not only on Facebook, but through quite a few other places. And I'll put some links down below for that. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. I am looking forward to the end of the month. The church that has the campground, one of their last concerts is they are bringing the Watutu African Children's Choir in for September the 29th. So I'm looking forward to being able to go and see that and hear that. And it should be a wonderful concert. So if you're in the area of the Blanchard, I believe it's Church of Christ, need to double check. By all means, that evening, stop in for a concert. Usually their concerts start about 7 o'clock. I don't imagine that there'll be too much change in that. But, yeah. So if you're in the area, come by. And I'll probably be bringing in another finished mat to give the ladies. So that's about it. I wanted to comment about the Create series that I had started. I have had quite a few people tell me that it was an excellent attempt, and that's basically all I was trying to do, was attempt to help. I do plan on doing that as a monthly thing that I do. And next month we're going to look at shawl shapes. So start looking around at some of the free shawls that you can get and look at those, really analyze those patterns to see where they place decreases, increases, to see if you can tell if it is an internal increase or an external increase. And that is something that's very interesting, because a lot of people think there are only external increases, and there are not. And that'll be the October. In November, we're going to look at some raglan, how to create raglan, how to measure yourself to make a raglan sweater. I thought that later on that month we would do a raglan cowl, C-A-L, so that you can kind of get your feet wet. And yes, baby cowls will be allowed. You know, I'm not going to discriminate against the little wee ones. Although I am going to make a rule in that cowl, because there will be prizes. There'll be a couple of bags and some yarn and some different things like that as prizes. And that will be in November. That'll end in November. End of November, first part of December. So I'm looking forward to getting those underway. One of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is one of my goals for this year was to do quite a few more things with Tunisian. And I haven't done that yet. We're now in month 9. And I think I have worked on my one Tunisian shawl once. It's over here on the side, being totally ignored. So, I think I'll play a little bit with some Tunisian over the next month or so. And basically that's it. It's a real short one today. I do know that I have found a couple of new podcasts, and one of those was Melanie Skip to my Lou. And she has some quite interesting little comments. And I believe I told you about Carrie. Yeah, I told you about Carrie, so that's the only new one that I've found so far. The only thing I want to say is, if you have not seen Stitch House Creations' final Elvis amigurumi, go take a look at them. They're absolutely adorable. And that was her last episode that I saw, unless she updated and put some up today. That was the last episode I saw of that. So go take a look at the Elvi. I guess that's what you call Elvis plural, is Elvi. Is it? I don't know. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to leave some links below for you to check out. Remember, for random acts of kindness, I have 2 for this month. One is donating to the Lamar campground to help rebuild their tabernacle. The second one is really basically a challenge to you. Find some way to donate or help those in the North Carolina, South Carolina areas that are being hit by the hurricane. So that's it. Everybody remember to be kind, and I'll see you again later on. Bye.